Now, Mad Dog, this is really cool. Come on, let's tell the folks what this is. It's an active volcano.
This is an active volcano.
Yeah. Where?
I don't even know how to say it.
Let's try.
Kilauea, Hawaii.
Okay, cool. Kilauea, Hawaii. The reason why I asked you to do it because I just was tongue-tied on some drugs I've never heard of. I knew ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, but that other drug I'd never heard of, and I got pretty tied up on that one. So hey, look, this is what we do, folks. We just have fun. I mean, we don't worry about it. We don't stress. Right, dog? Right, Mad Dog?
Yes, sir.
Can we get the control room cam on? So there they are. Oh, where's your hat? I thought you were going to wear the hat.
Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I put it aside. It kept falling off.
We got no string underneath. There's Colin.
Yeah,
there's
no
Ben. There's Drew. There's Matt in the back. There they are. And that's Mad Dog right up front. Okay, what's this? We're giving out awards for corruption. That's great. That's right. It looks like one of the most corrupt institutions in America continues to reward itself, pat itself on the back for lack of journalism. So that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, the center of President Trump's lawsuit against CBS, well, has received, drumroll please, an Emmy nomination. I'm serious. Are these the most delusional, self-unaware people ever? They really circle the wagons, don't they? So first, they're giving out awards for finally recognizing Biden's obvious decline into dementia last weekend at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Watch.
The judges said Thompson's aggressive reporting on President Biden, especially leading up to and after the Trump-Biden debate, revealed the president's cognitive decline was impacting his ability to do his job. Information the White House tried to conceal.
She says with a smile that the award acceptance, which is somehow supposed to absolve an entire industry's cover-up.
I say this because acknowledging errors builds trust, and being defensive about them further erodes it. We should have done better.
Oh, my gosh. Should have done better, says Alex Thompson. I love how he makes it sound like they just kind of missed the mark a little bit. That word better doesn't really do it, Alex. Sorry. Better doesn't cover it, not even remotely. Better doesn't cover it because you media, you clowns in that room actively covered up what we, the rational, sane half of America, saw with our own eyes and heard with our own ears. A president losing his facilities in real time. Couldn't remember people's names, calling out dead people, falling. And you said he was fine. But now, the interview that's at the center of President Trump's high-stakes lawsuit against CBS News is an Emmy-nominated program. But not just that, 60 Minutes in all of its BS journalism glory also landed several Emmy nominations, which were announced on Tuesday. Get this, the interview is nominated for, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. The reason why Trump is suing CBS for the Kamala Harris interview is because they edited it. They selectively edited it. They took an answer that she was asked a question, she fumbled it badly, and they took an answer to another question and they edited it right onto the back of it. That's what they did. Guess what? Stop rolling prompter. Guess what happened? The Emmys decided that massively edited, that Trump is suing them for, CBS, deserved an Emmy for the best editing. I can't make this up. Election interference at its worst, folks. You need very fancy editing to try and make Kamala Harris look even remotely intelligent. So yeah, that might be the one award that kind of makes sense here. Here's just a little taste of that superb editing that they're referring to, by the way. Watch this.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
They took a bumbled answer and they cut it, threw it away, and took an answer to something else she answered and put it on to answer that. That is not even journalism. That's just outright lying propaganda BS. I'm sorry. There's just no other way to frame it. That's state television propaganda. That's some Cuba-style, Stalin-style propaganda dished out to influence voters in a major presidential election just a few weeks leading up to that election. That's it. That's not the First Amendment. That's not protectable. That's not free speech. That's election interference. I mean, we all know she was an idiot anyway, but for those watching those interviews, making their voting decisions based on what they heard and saw on CBS, that's lying. That's BS. And they're nominated for an Emmy for it. Don't forget, the executive producer resigned over this. This program has been declining into oblivion, into disgrace for years over its obvious political leaning and bias, its false reporting, and disgusting moments like this one when Leslie Stahl felt the need to defend who? Who? Oh, the terrorists, Hamas.
They were beating me and starving me.
Do you think they starved you or they just didn't have food?
Yeah. So on top of already handing out awards for failing in their field, failing the American people about Joe Biden's mental state, these people are giving out awards for propaganda. Dangerous propaganda covering up for an inept president. That's a brand new low, even for these clowns, for that crowd. This is some Soviet era stuff right there. And they're now rewarding themselves, patting themselves on the back at failing at their jobs. And then doing the bare minimum once it was so very clear, very, very clear that the cat was fully out of the bag and could no longer be covered up, that Joe Biden was permanently gone, out of it, lost in the woods. And only then did they even try to do their jobs. Or even now, they're saying they missed the mark a little bit. Award-worthy? Award-worthy? Are you out of your freaking minds? Giving yourself an award, an Emmy Award for editing into propaganda, you people are disgusting. You're horrible people.